that it's the month of March already, so tax planning would be in swing. And now that with the latest tampering with NPS as well as EPF, one has to really put your mind to what tax saving options can we look at. So let's bring on board our expert Dhirendra Kumar and try and figure out what we can do with this time around the savings. And Dhirendra, first, the options that one has right now in front of us.
No, this is the time of the year when most people who have the choice, the discretion, we generally tend to, postpone it to the last moment, and March is the month when anybody who has a choice has to make one. And broadly, it is very important for everybody to understand the conceptual framework. You broadly have of three kinds based on the kind of investment that is made. The large segment is of the fixed income ones, where the Employee Provident Fund or the PPF or the National Savings Certificate or 5-year term deposit. These are the tax saving alternatives which gets you, fixed income, and you get little more than the prevailing fixed deposit rate. But net on a long-term basis, you don't, you barely beat inflation, and you don't accumulate something meaningful. Then the middle of the road is, something which is hybrid, the ULIP plans and, something like that, the pension plans, which is an eligible ATC deduction. These are the other set, and these are, the worst of the lot in the sense that they are expensive, they are not transparent, they don't grow your money, and you get the worst of both, because most of, the ULIP plans particularly, they combine the insurance as well as, it's a bulk of it is investment, and you don't necessarily get the finest of insurance or the finest of investment. Then comes the tax saving fund, which is a growth oriented thing. And I think given the outlook of fixed income, what it will be in coming years, and going by the whole new discussion going about currently on about Provident Fund, I think it is important for investors to really look at growth. If you are investing for 10 years and more, don't let this opportunity pass by, because there is one thing unusual about this, because you make your investment in a tax saving fund, you get your tax break, the 1.5 lakh rupee investment that you make, and by virtue of it being equity, all the gains are tax free. So you are clearly able to bypass all the messy discussion which is going on. By far, for any long term investment, if you are looking at tax saving fund, that is the only thing which can help you derive something meaningful from your investments.
Dhirendra, so since ULIPs are a no-no, fixed income is not going to be as profitable. So, would you say that equity-linked saving schemes would be the best bet right now?
I think that should be the default for any sensible investor, because my understanding is that in the coming years, we will have fixed income rates coming down substantially. And this time round, going by what the RBI governor has done, the fixed income rates will come down with reasonable, and they are likely to stay there. So in that sense, even if you are able to beat inflation, even if you are able to get little more than, more than what the inflation is, it will not be meaningful, because assuming that, interest rates come down to about 6%, the absolute scale of return on your investment could be very disappointing, even though you might be beating inflation. So I think it's important for investors to really embrace equity now and average it, live with the volatility, and have a long-term view, manage your profit from it, because I think, if fixed income is not going to produce anything meaningful return, that by, the other side of it is going to be that, equity will prove to be more rewarding. And we have, bits and pieces falling very nicely in place for you to be extremely optimistic on a medium to long-term basis. So investors should start, getting into it with that mindset.
Yes, though, Dhirendra, considering that is which has been completely left untouched in the tax gamut, is that also not the most viable option right now?
So my understanding is that, with equity funds, even the government, even if it's willing to, can't do much beyond a point. Assuming that, the long-term capital gains is being done away with, then what will happen? It will be indexed, and then you will be taxed based on your time frame. So indexing itself will make it very meaningful. And the gains on that will be taxed at 10%, going by the prevailing capital, the taxation of capital gains. So, gains adjusted for inflation and 10% off tax on that will still make it one of the finest investment long-term, choice for most investors.